In the midst of a crumbling fortress, the lonesome field outpost stands as a quiet remnant of what was once important. Haruhiro and his comrades find themselves reflecting on the strange combination of nostalgia and foreboding that the place stirs in them. A member of Orion, with a short hair and round glasses, lets out a laugh that feels too jarring for the somber surroundings, noting the sadness of the outpost. As the group banters, Ronta, known for his caustic remarks, points out Yume's slip in speech. Kuzaku joins in with the banter, teasing the dynamic between Ronta and Yume. The humor lightens the atmosphere, but Haruhiro senses an underlying tension, the discomfort of unresolved conflicts lingering in the air. Despite the attempts at levity, the group's dynamics feel strained, with sarcastic jabs and miscommunications highlighting the deeper fissures among them. From the edge of the outpost, Haruhiro spots something unusual. A figure is running towards them with an intensity and speed that captures Haruhiro's attention instantly. This isn't just a random passerby, this is Mimirin, a figure from Haruhiro's past. She calls out to him, her voice full of emotion. Haruhiro is stunned, he didn't expect to see someone from a life he has left behind. Mimirin barrels toward him and, with surprising strength, tackles Haruhiro in a powerful hug. Taken aback, Haruhiro finds himself lifted off the ground, the air knocked from his lungs. Mimirin's unexpected arrival and her overwhelming affection catch him completely off guard. It's clear she's been yearning to see him, drawn by a deep sense of connection and nostalgia. Ronta, on the sidelines, reacts with a mix of confusion and his usual irreverence, trying to handle the awkwardness of the situation with humor. But Mimirin's attention is steadfastly on Haruhiro, whose mind whirls with the unexpected reunion. In the background, Ana-san, who accompanied Mimirin, injects her own brand of chaos, berating Ronta for his usual antics. A new visitor, Tokimune, steps into the scene, commanding attention with his robust presence and eye patch. He attempts to lighten the mood, engaging with Haruhiro's group and suggesting they focus on the positive amidst the chaos. His charismatic demeanor contrasts sharply with the tension, easing the atmosphere slightly. While Haruhiro grapples with the blend of emotions Mimirin's arrival stirs, he realizes the complexities of his group's situation. They're tangled in a web of past connections and uncertain futures, each step haunted by the specters of what once was. Despite the turmoil, Haruhiro and his friends stand united, facing whatever challenges lie ahead with a wary determination, bound together by shared experiences and the ever-present need to survive in a world filled with uncertainty. Haruhiro senses someone approaching and instinctively turns, only to find Renji beside him. The presence of Renji always unravels Haruhiro, a feeling he can't quite shake. Renji casually mentions a "got a moment," indicating a desire to converse, which Haruhiro, albeit bewildered, agrees to. The circumstances are tense as Renji confirms he wants to talk not only about Haruhiro's party but also about communicating with his own. Renji's cryptic request puts Haruhiro off balance. He doesn't understand Renji's angle, but he strives to keep up with the unexpected conversation. Renji's words command attention, and Haruhiro questions whether something is amiss. The discussion shifts to Shinohara, a commander Haruhiro recalls. Renji wants Haruhiro's insights on this enigmatic man. With Haruhiro perplexed about Renji's motives, thoughts about Shinohara's reputation as a strategic leader surface. Haruhiro reflects, "I respect him, but we never got along." Renji acknowledges Haruhiro's candor with a nod. Renji then draws Haruhiro's attention to Shinohara's involvement with someone known as the Master of the Forbidden Tower. Haruhiro is struck by the implications, yet knows little about the tower's master. The conversation drifts toward shared histories and unexplored alliances, intertwining the complexity of their world. Renji appreciates Haruhiro's introspective nature, observing, "Even if you've forgotten, your skills haven't dulled much." This statement holds a weighty compliment, leaving Haruhiro at a loss for words. The acknowledgement from Renji, whose approval he secretly values, feels surreal. The narrative shifts to a distant place, the Quicksand Plains, a flat wasteland punctuated by Mount Grief, a site cloaked in ancient mysteries and guarded with trepidation. A strategic operation unfolds to reclaim this stronghold. The mission involves breaching a foreboding castle, known to shield the graves of past kings, and rumored to house dark secrets. Coordinated by Shinohara, Rinji, and Haruhiro, with their respective allies, the operation progresses in stages. Each group has its mandate. Haruhiro's team aims to infiltrate from the castle's rear, circumventing the deadly setup to forge a covert path. This backdoor entry is crucial, promising a tactical edge. As the operation culminates, a skirmish against humanoid pawns erupts, putting their combat skills to the test. Kuzaku, from Haruhiro's team, demonstrates prowess using his large katana, cutting down an intimidating masked knight with finesse. Meanwhile, Mary supports with healing and defensive tactics, ensuring their team remains resilient. Amidst the chaos, Kimura's antics provide comic relief, engaging enemies with whimsical yet effective attacks, pushing the limits of his fighting style. His somersault bomb technique astonishes allies and foes alike, epitomizing the unpredictable nature of battle within these ruinous territories. Nearby, Mimori demonstrates unexpected combat expertise, wielding twin swords with graceful precision. Although initially perceived as a mage, her shift to deft swordsmanship defies assumptions, her dual blades a mesmerizing dance of lethal artistry. Haruhiro marvels at her agility, realizing there's more to Mimori than meets the eye. This alliance of diverse abilities forms the backbone of their mission. Each character, with a distinct skill set, reflects the unpredictable ebb and flow of their world. Bound by a shared objective, they navigate uncertainties, inching towards their goal, the retrieval and revelation of the truths buried within Mount Grief. As the group stands amid the chaos of battle, Mimori points her sword in the direction of a recent explosion. The priests around her seem relieved and satisfied. One of them announces the destruction of a bomb. Mimori, though not fully comprehending, trusts the process, feeling a weight lifted off her. The scene quickly shifts to Haruhiro and his companions. They've been battling haunts, mysterious and sinister foes. Upon orders to prioritize taking out these enemies first, Haruhiro notes Rinji's relentless approach, like sleepwalking through the chaos. Remarkably, Rinji has become an unstoppable force, carving through enemies with ease, as if his speed and efficiency are beyond human. Suddenly, Haruhiro senses something alarming. Balls, formed by haunts, have begun to assemble ominously in the air. This strange phenomenon provokes Haruhiro's urgent call to his teammates, urging them to flee. Rinji's relentless pursuit doesn't waver. He quickly overtakes Haruhiro, leaving him behind with a dismissive, "Leave this to me." Rinji battles the swarm of haunts with unmatched confidence, swinging his greatsword with precision. Supporting him is Kimura, who excitedly uses magic, declaring, "Light." The magic illuminates their path, weakening the haunts and allowing Rinji's attacks to connect effectively. Kimura's enthusiasm is infectious, despite the danger surrounding them. Rinji's prowess and seemingly inhuman speed inspire a sense of awe in Haruhiro. He is unsure how Rinji achieves this level of performance but realizes it's futile to stop him. Rinji is a vital asset in this battle, and his presence is both reassuring and imposing. Following this heated battle, silence falls over the field. The group regroups, their relief palpable. Tokimune comments carefreely, engaging in a playful banter with his companions despite their recent trials. Inside the entrance hall, Haruhiro and the others discover a peculiar door. Kimura eagerly explains a riddle posed by the doors, leading to multiple pathways. This puzzle reminds them of Orion's planning, underscoring the strategic depth required to navigate the graveyard. Rinji, along with Shinohara and his team, leads the group forward. The challenge of unlocking these doors, the literal and metaphorical thresholds they must cross, looms large. Their plan necessitates splitting the teams, optimizing their chances of overcoming the complex obstacles within this labyrinthine place. As they venture deeper, Rinji's quiet presence overshadows their path, his leadership guiding them unerringly. Yet, anxiety lingers among the team, the pressures of their mission weighing heavily on each member. Haruhiro, in particular, feels an itch of intuitive unease he can't quite place. Within this tactical web of decisions, Haruhiro and Mimori share a fleeting, sincere moment. Amid the tension, Mimori asks Haruhiro to call her by her first name, signaling trust and camaraderie. The gesture strengthens their bond while adding an emotional depth to their shared journey. Their conversation is interrupted by an unexpected declaration from Toda. Suddenly, Haruhiro finds himself facing an intense moment of confrontation, where past sorrows and unresolved anger erupt. Toda's words remind Haruhiro of the cost of their battle, the injuries and losses that haunt their steps. Toda's aggression is tempered by an unexpected softness, showing the duality of emotions running through each warrior's heart. This melding of strategy, personal connections, and intense combat defines the complex tapestry of their quest. Each action, each choice, ripples through the delicate balance of their mission, shaping their path in the graveyard's ever-shifting shadows. Toda crashes to the ground, unmoving. Blood stains his lip, and his glasses sit askew. Haruhiro assesses Memori, who grins mischievously. "That was a good punch," Memori remarks, ensuring Haruhiro isn't toying with her. He denies it, acknowledging the complexity of their situation with a sigh. Haruhiro finds himself caught in a tense conversation with Anasan, who demands he accepts Memori's love. Despite feeling pressured, Haruhiro isn't sure how to handle the situation. Tokimune interrupts with a jovial demeanor, bringing humor and a fresh perspective to the group. His energy is infectious, pulling others into lighter spirits. Meanwhile, Kikawa playfully interrogates Haruhiro about his relationship with Meri, stirring confusion and sparking awkward reactions. The topic transitions swiftly when Ronta interjects loudly, only to realize something unsettling when Kimura strikes the ground with his mace. The shattering sound captures everyone's attention, hinting that something is dangerously wrong. Suddenly, shadows manifest, slithering and shifting like snakes. They invade the space, bringing chaos. Satoru's explanation about the feared graveyard follows, lending urgency to the evolving threat. Mimirin reacts swiftly, wielding long swords to dispatch the shadows with determination. Haruhiro stands by, paralyzed by indecision, even as Mimirin reassures him with her actions and words. The turmoil leads them to a unique hall filled with stone stools resembling chess pieces, a bizarre and unsettling environment. The group reorients to this unexpected setting, their surroundings surreal yet pressing. Haruhiro attempts to shake off the tension, even as jokes by Ronta fall flat amidst growing pressure. In an intense exchange, Inui confronts Satoru with flirtatious strides, provoking a sharp response. Satoru's poised aggression steers the conflict toward combat. The room ignites with tension as her spear grazes Inui's face, setting a foreboding atmosphere for more conflict. Haruhiro's team, despite their internal strife, prepares to face the impending threat characterized by rising pawns and haunting bullets. The group coordinates defensively, while Toda showcases unexpected strength, demolishing advancing pawns with his warhammer. Despite the eerie setting and their precarious situation, the team responds dynamically. Tokimune and his band, energized and reckless, keep moving forward with Haruhiro reluctantly in tow. Mimirin, Yume, and Anasan coordinate attacks against the relentless haunts. Bullet-like projectiles from the enemies threaten the group's safety, prompting drastic measures from everyone. Mimirin apologizes for her actions, but Toda doesn't hold back. Haruhiro, maintaining his resolve, contemplates the pace of combat against the waves of haunting enemies. Meanwhile, Meri often steps in to protect others, underscoring their shared struggle in this unnerving rhapsody. As the battle rages on, Satoru skillfully takes down another pawn, but it seems endless. Haruhiro, overwhelmed, desperately looks to Kimura for direction. Kimura decisively declares, "What we need here," suggesting that everyone must push themselves to fight even harder. Ronta, ever the jokester, frustrates Haruhiro as he kicks at the pawns, asking if things will end soon. Amidst the chaos, Tokimune's laughter rings out, managing to lighten the mood. Haruhiro, however, stays focused on the task at hand, warding off the relentless haunts along with Toda and the others. Suddenly, Tokimune is launched into the air, an unexpected turn of events. Haruhiro is stunned as Ronta shouts after Tokimune, marveling at the spectacle. Meanwhile, Toda supports Tokimune, helping him back to the ground, as Tokimune, regaining his composure, exclaims, "I'm all right." Toda insists Tokimune jump again, as Haruhiro watches with concern, knowing Tokimune isn't light on his feet. Tokimune reluctantly agrees, telling Toda, "This takes more out of me than you'd think." The impact of their teamwork is notable as Toda gets in position with his warhammer, prepared for another launch. Haruhiro realizes he must participate too. Hesitantly, he steps onto Toda's warhammer and is flung into the air. The sensation is astounding, yet terrifying. He struggles with the idea but knows it's necessary. Haruhiro steels himself, pledging, "I'll do it. I'll do it." After several launches, Haruhiro catches his breath, grasping just how tiring the process is. But determination fuels him, and he continues, driven by necessity and camaraderie. Their task finished, the group halts at the dining hall's end. Haruhiro implores the team to rest as they prepare for the next phase. Mimirin sits down, physically expressing the exhaustion they all feel. When asked if he's okay, Haruhiro reassures, "Fine. I'm better now," determined to keep moving forward. As tensions flare, light-hearted banter ensues between Ronta and Yume regarding their height, Yume teasing Ronta relentlessly. A momentary pause allows Haruhiro's party to regroup and strategize, feeling the weight of what's ahead. The coalition faces another challenge as they approach a chapel. Tokikaze asks Haruhiro which way they will proceed. They decide on the right-hand route, sensing the gravity of their endeavor as they move onward, anxious yet resolved. Inside the chapel, among the pews, Haruhiro notices 6 individuals, volunteer soldiers appearing faded, mere reflections of their former selves. Kimura holds his position, studying them, understanding the danger they pose despite their ghostly appearance. An eerie silence fills the atmosphere as flames suddenly emerge, casting a foreboding glow. A gaunt mage begins chanting, "Firewall," unleashing flames that divide the room, setting the stage for the confrontation. Kimura charges toward the attackers, expertly evading the woman with the scythe. Haruhiro watches, torn between wanting to support and needing to survive. The tension skyrockets as the flaming barricade threatens their advance. The gray-haired priest chants again, invoking magic to raise another pillar of flame. Haruhiro attempts to counter, but each failed attempt heightens his urgency. Ashihoru casts a light spell, the chaos intensifies, adding pressure. Kimura provides backup, trying to hold the line as Haruhiro searches for a strategy. They navigate the dangerous ground carefully, knowing one misstep could be disastrous. Despite multiple setbacks, Haruhiro refuses to give up. He digs deep for resolve, understanding the task's gravity. It's not just about survival, it's about pushing through for the sake of those by his side. Backing each other up, the team prepares for what's next, knowing the challenges will only grow more difficult as they forge ahead together. Haruhiro embraces the challenge, a blend of fear and courage urging him forward with unwavering resolve. As Yume voices her incredulity about the enemy still using magic despite the firewall, Haruhiro stands firm against the sudden attack. The fierce gaunt mage blitzes at them, and for a moment, Haruhiro falters. Yet, he quickly regains his balance and calls out to his allies, Ronta, Yume, and Kuzaku, urging them to act with urgency. Yume reacts swiftly, employing her hunter skills. She moves with precision, her body a blur as she closes in on the gaunt figure, an offensive whirlwind. Meanwhile, Kuzaku grapples with another adversary, showcasing his determination. Ronta combats his foe with fervor, blades clashing in a tense standoff. Despite the cumbersome battle, his energy is relentless. Haruhiro strategizes on the go, coordinating attacks. He yells, "Mark M. Park," accentuating their synchronized assault on the gaunt mage. A sudden opportunity arises. An opening leads to an exhilarating moment where they successfully defeat the mage. Yume's elation is palpable as she cheers, "We did it," exuding her ever-optimistic spirit. But there is little time to revel, immediate danger looms as more enemies emerge, reminiscent of dire past encounters. In a shocking twist, Ronta faces off with Yokoi, the adversary now standing fiercely against him. Yokoi's menacing presence is almost insurmountable, but Haruhiro pushes forward, driven by sheer will and past memories compelling him to fight harder. The battle becomes a rhythm, each movement precise, synchronized, echoing through the battlefield. Suddenly, the narrative shifts. The group reunites, focusing their efforts on rescuing any allies in peril. Haruhiro recalls snippets of battles from before, haunted by memories yet strengthened by them. The juxtaposition of fear and bravery permeates the air. A surreal moment ensues as the physical clash becomes a psychological struggle for Haruhiro. Long-buried emotions bubble to the surface, meshing past with present. His inner monologue binds the experience, adding depth to the unfolding chaos. Kimura, a solemn figure, enters the scene, cascading dynamic energy into the fray. His presence amplifies the stakes, as dark enigma shrouds around him, hinting at secretive agendas and concealed knowledge. Haruhiro contemplates Kimura's mysterious acquaintance with Shinohara and the dangerous operation of clearing the towering, enigmatic infrastructures looming above. As the narrative dives deeper into strategic layers, Haruhiro's mind races with thoughts of the master of the Forbidden Tower. He's curious, evaluating the tower's historical footprint. Kimura adds cryptic musings about memories, prompting Haruhiro to ponder the immense mysteries entwined with their unpredictable journey. Following the intense confrontation, Haruhiro's interaction with Kimura unveils layers of narration not touched before. Questions of trust arise, both in others and within oneself. The depth of camaraderie, bound by necessity and shared experience, becomes clear. Their path twists further into the heart of the unknown. A blend of tension, humor, and camaraderie ensues as they confront the eerie yet somehow welcoming presence in the corridor, even amid lurking shadows. Together, they muster strength from each other, navigating a dark future glowing with a flicker of hope. The part concludes at the brink of a new revelation. The adventurers breathe with anticipation, hearts bound by the promises of ordeal and victory. The shadowed future weaves its way, promising more challenges yet tantalizing mysteries to unravel. Mary and Haruhiro exchange a moment, sharing a realization. Embarrassment lingers, but the tension is shattered as Toda loudly slams his warhammer into the floor, prompting Tokimune to rally the group with a confident declaration, "Let's do this." As Tokimune and his team prepare for battle, Mimoniya stands ready with her long sword, signaling her determination. Amidst this preparation, Toda announces his readiness, his grip firm on the handle of his weapon, a massive katana set to decimate their foe. The presence of a formidable golem demands attention. Standing motionless initially, the golem's head appears to ignite abruptly, a red light flickering deep within its core. The realization hits Ronta, it's gonna move. The golem indeed springs into life, striking fear into the group as Mr. Hu, Yume, Kuzaku, and Ronta quickly assume positions alongside Toda, Kikawa, and Mimoniya. Their objective is clear: eliminate the unnatural enemy before them. Mimiron harnesses her elemental prowess, casting a magic barrier in preparation. Haruhiro watches, noting the intensity as the sigils glow around Mimiron's long sword, casting sparks that do little to deter her focus. This golem, formed partly from their own previous encounters, rises to its feet amidst the assembling fighters. Just as Haruhiro contemplates whether stillness might have been the better strategy, Tokimune charges with gusto, shouting "Somersault Bomb," and leaping in a bold arc onto the golem's leg. His warhammer strikes true, leaving an impact, but the creature barely flinches. The assault gives Toda a window to act. He lunges in tandem with Tokimune, his colossal katana swinging wide, targeting the golem's knee with a resolve that reverberates through the ground as ha booms from Kuzaku amidst the chaos. Tokimune's charisma, combined with Anasan's strategic support, keeps the group cohesive and determined. A coordinated effort ensues. Mary surprises the enemy with a magical chant, driving Haruhiro to rally others. "It's time, people." Rafi? Despite their efforts, the golem remains a formidable opponent, sluggish in its movements but unfaltering in its resilience. As Ronta temporarily commandeers the golem's attention, Toda, too, engages in his own spectacular maneuvers, jumping, dodging, and weaving with acrobatic skill. In a climactic moment, Haruhiro meditatively contemplates Tokimune's finesse, a blend of startling force and tactical thought, a complete package with immense presence. In a graceful leap, Tokimune's longsword penetrates the golem's eye, the red light fades, fine-ish. The call echoes as the construct crumbles into stillness. A moment of stunned silence ensues, Toda exuberantly praises Tokimune for his splendid performance. The battle is over, yet the shared sense of accomplishment lingers among them. Haruhiro realizes how enormously his allies have grown in confidence and skill. As the aftermath of their success settles in, Tokimune's charm maintains levity within the group as they thank Anasan for her unwavering support. Haruhiro silently reflects on the changes wrought by camaraderie and the subtle shaping of character through shared adversity. The victory, however sweet, prompts a continued caution as Tokimune considers the next threat to emerge. Unfortunately, their vigilance is not unwarranted. Inui, previously absent from the scene, now surveys an explosive scene from a high vantage point, discerning the brewing tension of another struggle. Disarray reigns as Toda, Meri, and Kimura find themselves engulfed in chaos, but they keep sight of their objective, another round of enemies, each more daunting than before, lying in wait beyond the next corner. As golems belonging to assault teams B and C become engaged in the fray, Haruhiro contemplates their strategy. The corridor echoes with the continuous exchange of combat. As Inui executes a sudden withdrawal from his selection, those accompanying Haruhiro throw themselves into a fresh battle, utilizing all that is available to them: friends, ingenuity, and raw determination. Such camaraderie, talent, and the combined force of all precious bonds are pivotal now, yet chaos is the element that brings the biggest surprise, transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary in this high-stakes struggle for survival. Enemies, too, progress from familiar foes to novel, complex threats as Ronta and the group confront hybrid constructs, strategic in their attacks. As the physical and magical onslaught gains heat, Haruhiro reflects on timing and calls to mind the precision needed for their synchronized assault against foes, a strategy balanced on the knife edge of success and failure. In a daring act, Haruhiro confronts Golpalta directly, displaying courage and innovation that astonishes even his seasoned companions. The reward is immediate, but independence from fear and past constraints is the larger, unseen victory. In the aftermath, realization descends with realization. Each participant in the skirmish has earned the newly found strength that follows overcoming a perilous high-level threat. As Mimirin's precise, calm affirmations underscore their resilience, Haruhiro acknowledges the journey made, from the urgency of frenetic action to the tranquil understanding of each hard-won success. In the heart of the chaotic darkness, Haruhiro and his companions find themselves navigating a maze of mystery and peril. The cramped corridor reverberates with the ominous serenade of approaching footsteps, a forewarning of the dangers lurking in the shadows ahead. Haruhiro listens intently, clutching his dagger, his senses attuned to the uncanny vibrations that signal impending threats. Suddenly, the tension erupts as specters materialize before them, their aura a tapestry of malignant intent. They resemble rigid marble statues with human physiques, yet hollow, and emit a sinister presence. Todd, reacting with expected bravery, unleashes his warhammer in a reckless swing, only for his weapon to backfire, propelling him skyward in an explosive force. Haruhiro's instincts heighten, his mind racing to understand this unfathomable new enemy. In the throes of this surreal battle, Tokimune's enlightenment pierces through. Their special technique is self-destruction, he realizes, a critical revelation that redefines their approach to combating these spectral adversaries. Carmen, already settled into the rhythm of war, remains unfazed by the revelation. But for Haruhiro, the knowledge is a new compass navigating them through the threat. Spectres shamble forward, persistent in their assault, forcing Haruhiro and Yume into defensive positions. "We've got spectres incoming too," Haruhiro warns, urgency coating his voice. The urgency elevates as Tokimune adopts an aggressive stance, his longsword cleaving the spectral silhouettes with practiced grace. The corridor erupts in disorienting chaos. Mimirin, against Tokimune's earlier warning, gallantly charges forward, launching spiraling magic missiles. "Mark M. Park," she chants, leading to a spectacle of light and sound as detonations ripple through the malevolent swarm. Yet her impulsive boldness keeps her in the line of danger, forcing Haruhiro to question her rationale. "What does it do?" Kikawa queries, frustration peeking through his facade of nonchalance. Haruhiro understands now, it's a power beyond mimicry, a desperate act of survival, and their only hope of turning the tide. The self-destructing specters fall as Mimirin's magic fills the air with explosive echoes, her determination unwavering. Despite Mimirin's reckless valor, the shadows persist, consuming the light with each flickering moment. Haruhiro focuses, engaged in a delicate dance of survival, his limbs moving instinctively between eluding danger and protecting his allies. The specters multiply, each incarnation a haunting testament to the corridor's ethereal supremacy. Amidst the advancing darkness, Toda emerges, his heart synchronized with Anasan perched on his shoulders. With his warhammer primed, an epitome of fury and force, he draws the specter's wrath, each divine incantation a lifeline against the terror that seeks to encapsulate them. Haruhiro and his friends push onward through the shifting walls of gloom. As the battle presses on, Tokimune provides the clarity they desperately need, asserting that retreat is not an option. The enemies are unyielding, their resurgence is infinite. Tokimune's resilience is contagious, his effort spurring Haruhiro and the others to embrace this relentless challenge. Each bombastic explosion from their weapons opens new pathways, unraveling the threads of the dark tapestry surrounding them. A grim resolve binds them, and with Tokimune's leadership guiding Haruhiro, the specters become less the insurmountable foes they once seemed. Despite the chaos, the toll on Haruhiro's spirit is visible, each swing, each thrust draining his endurance, but he perseveres, buoyed by camaraderie and the drive to survive against impossible odds. With spectacular courage, Renji and Ronta join the fray, Renji's appearance a beacon against the encroaching shadows. His swords, trailing arcs of lightning, deliver a jolt of hope. "He's here!" Ronta yells out, his voice thick with relief and renewed vigor. In these claustrophobic corridors, a labyrinth of terror and darkness, Haruhito and his band of adventurers stand resolute, drawing strength from their unity and unwilling to yield to these creeping specters. Their every motion, every choice, governed by the unwavering will to live and defy the night's all-consuming void. In the midst of battle, Haruhiro's team, known as the Haru Heroes, grapples with a relentless enemy on the Red Continent. Faced with these overwhelming odds, their struggle becomes more than just a fight for survival, it's a testament to their resilience and teamwork. Kimura's commentary about the formidable nature of their foes sets the stage, emphasizing the hardships the team is facing. With Tokimune's strategic leadership, the group stares down the specters and pushes onward. A magical explosion illuminates the battlefield, signaling their intent and desperation. From above, Ron, one of Tokimune's warriors, joins the fray, landing with a heroic presence. His massive meat cleaver strikes fear into the heart of the opposition, a symbol of their determination. Haruhiro watches in awe as Ron swings his weapon with unrivaled strength. Despite Ron's awe-inspiring entry, Haruhiro knows they need more than brute force to win. They rely on spells like Ice Globe and Lightning to turn enemies to stone, temporarily holding back the tide. Haruhiro realizes the dual danger and beauty of this strategy, rendering enemies immobile but posing risks to his own team if things don't go as planned. Amidst this chaos, Renji, another key fighter, appears mysteriously calm and in command. His aura brings a semblance of order and strategy to the already fraught situation. Haruhiro, aware of Renji's reputation, acknowledges his silent, yet profound impact on the battlefield. A brief respite follows as the teams regroup. Haruhiro exchanges glances with Renji and Shinohara, pondering their next move. The air is tense, filled with anticipation. Shinohara's diplomatic words break the silence, offering mutual respect and a reminder of their shared objectives. He emphasizes, if there are no problems, let's move quickly. Renji and Shinohara express their care for Haruhiro's group, offering guidance and support. Haruhiro, though grateful, feels uneasy about the reliance on others. The pressure weighs heavy on his shoulders. Tokimune then playfully nudges Shinohara, highlighting their camaraderie amidst the tension. Their light-hearted exchange injects a moment of levity into the grim reality surrounding them. In a more serious tone, Shinohara outlines the strategy. His detailed plan emphasizes cooperation and caution. Despite their differences, both groups respect each other's skills and determination, realizing the battle's outcome depends on their collaboration. As they prepare for the impending clash, the mood shifts. Haruhiro is caught in a juxtaposition of nerves and anticipation. His internal conflict is evident as he questions the safety and readiness of their strategy. The narrative transitions to the battle start. Haruhiro and his team, along with Renji's and Shinohara's support, face the attacking force head-on. The enemy's vigor is undeniable, and the ensuing fight is fierce and chaotic. Stone Guardians, aptly nicknamed Spinists by Tokimune, advance, adding a mystical element to the battle. Each team member plays a vital role. Haruhiro stands alongside his allies, witnessing their courage and tenacity. Despite initial setbacks, they rally together, using both physical prowess and strategic spells to fend off their attackers. Ronta, always vocal and full of bravado, continues to hurl insults even as he fights. His antics, while uncouth, seem to bolster the team's morale in their darkest moments. Meanwhile, Mary offers encouragement, subtly reminding Ronta to keep his spirits high despite his grumbling. As the battle progresses, the exhaustion mounts. The never-ending onslaught tests their limits, demanding every ounce of strength. Shinohara's earlier warnings about conserving energy echo in Haruhiro's mind, a stark reminder of their precarious situation. Yet, amidst the turmoil, a flicker of hope begins to emerge. The camaraderie and trust between the teams underscore the heart of their effort. As they push back against the Spinus, the group's unity becomes their greatest strength. Through resilience and teamwork, Haruhiro and his counterparts gain ground. Each strike and spell cast brings them closer to victory. They understand that the fight is more than just a battle against enemies, it's a testament to the bonds they've forged, asserting their will to survive and protect one another. Ultimately, the tale captures the essence of courage, unity, and the indomitable human spirit. Haruhiro and his allies, driven by determination and fortified by friendship, face uncertainties head-on, reminded that even in the shadow of adversity, hope can illuminate the darkest path. In the dim corridors of the dungeon, tension hangs in the stale air as Haruhiro and his comrades reach a crucial juncture. Tokimune, exuding a carefree exuberance, declares the need for a break, trying to inject some levity into the grim reality. However, relief is elusive. Haruhiro feels a mix of exhaustion and desperation. His spirit is wearing thin, and the mere thought of retreating gnaws at his mind, though he refuses to vocalize it. Ronta, brash and ever the provocateur, fills the silence with boastful banter, his words laced with an undercurrent of competition. Any other voices of dissent or frustration are stifled by the oppressive silence, with Haruhiro and the others pushing the limits of their endurance. Despite the weariness, Haruhiro understands the importance of holding on just a little longer. The troop includes Kikawa, who is sprawled in fatigue, and Mimas, who joins in the chorus of resting bodies. Renji, fiercely independent, elects to stay on his feet, a show of determination that sets him apart. Ronta, despite his earlier bravado, stands kneeling, his own strength nearly tapped out. Still, an air of competition brews between him and Haruhiro, fueled by youthful pride and stubbornness. Inui, seemingly out of nowhere, acknowledges Haruhiro's efforts. Haruhiro struggles with how to feel about Inui's sudden presence, the memory of past absence lingering awkwardly. Inui's report turns their attention to their current predicament, the Lich King and his thralls. The halls stretch vast and ominous before them, with strategies and potential consequences weighing heavily on everyone's minds. Inui provides details about their likely path, describing a daunting climb ahead, one that could define victory or spell their doom. The group is forced to consider their next steps deeply, realizing the gravity of their decisions. Ronta and Haruhiro exchange playful taunts, their camaraderie shining in the dire circumstances. Haruhiro, though wearied, musters resolve for the challenge that lies ahead. Kimura and Shinohara share insights, debating strategy amidst the uncertainty. It's clear that their success hinges not only on strength but also careful coordination. As the group prepares to push onwards, Renji demonstrates his characteristic leadership. He regards the situation with a calculated approach, contemplating splitting the party to cover more ground. Shinohara, though with an engaging demeanor, seems uneasy with Renji's more audacious suggestions. The team aligns with their respective leaders, and the familiar promise of battle invigorates them, mingling excitement with fear. Meanwhile, Haruhiro and the others press forward, observing Team Renji closely as they move down the passage, nervous anticipation winding through the air. And then, chaos erupts. Sandstorms, fierce and swirling, burst forth from everywhere, transforming into humanoid figures, fighters of their own. The team springs into action, each member tapping into their unique skills to face this unexpected threat. Adika's blood magic spills from his wrist, an accidental consequence that forces Haruhiro to step up, even as doubt flickers in his mind. Down below, Renji and his team clash with the sands, unyielding as they press on. But Haruhiro's group faces their own challenges, the false mags they encounter embodying deception itself. The climactic battle escalates, with Haruhiro, Ronta, and others swinging their swords and unleashing all manner of skills. Ronta's fight is fierce, reckless as always, though there's a precision evident beneath the apparent chaos of his attacks. Despite the overwhelming odds, Haruhiro discovers newfound resilience, rallying to confront these false foes. The team's collective resolve is tested, their courage intertwined with the threads of friendship. With each passing moment, the surreal struggle intensifies, pushing them further into the chasm of battle. Yet through the storms of sand and the haze of magic, their shared spirit shines, a beacon against the darkness threatening to consume them. They are more than mere adventurers, they are comrades standing steadfast against the realm's sinister forces. Amidst the echoes of clashing blades and incantations, their bond will either break or solidify, but not without the fire of their unified will. Together, amidst the crumbling walls and eerie whispers of the dungeon, they prepare to face their fate. They stride forward, not just as individuals with separate ideals, but as a force bound by purpose, a testament to their unyielding spirit. As the echoes of their efforts reverberate through the corridors, a shared truth remains: the journey is theirs, and they will not face it alone. In the heart of the battle, Haruhiro's group is besieged by numerous fakes created by the Lich King. These illusions are exact replicas of their friends and allies, making it difficult to fight without hesitation. Haruhiro, along with his companions, has learned to recognize the fakes, but defeating them is a laborious process, as they turn to sand and regenerate. The constant barrage wears them down gradually. Amid the chaos, Renji arrives, his presence unmistakably powerful. Haruhiro is reminded of Renji's strength and realizes that perhaps they have found hope. Renji's determination cuts through the despair of the endless cycle of fighting. Though weary, his group continues to push forward with him, determined to end the Lich King's reign. While advancing, Haruhiro notices an anomaly: the fakes surrounding them disperse, allowing the group to advance towards the throne room. It becomes apparent that the Lich King's power manifests through some force driving him on from his throne. Renji takes the lead, his resolve a beacon for them all. Despite the overwhelming odds and the exhausting nature of the endless battle, Haruhiro reflects that fighting alongside Renji gives them a fighting chance. Renji's presence brings an air of invincibility, and Haruhiro finds a shred of hope. "Renji, you're amazing," Haruhiro murmurs. But despite this hope, the threat looms large as the Lich King continues to churn out fakes at an alarming rate. As they approach the throne, Haruhiro's attention splits between fighting and keeping up with Renji's relentless pace. Meanwhile, Ronta, never far from a quarrel, engages in battle with renewed fervor. The group tightly follows Renji, zigzagging up the throne steps, eyes set firmly on their target. As Haruhiro climbs along with Mimirin, he can't help but feel the weight of the situation. Beyond the grueling fight, the reality of death looms large. Still, he moves on, driven by a duty to his friends, and to those who have already fallen. The battle drums his heart louder than before, a constant reminder of their purpose. In the confrontation with the Lich King, Renji boldly announces his arrival, demanding a final battle. The Lich King retaliates by expending immense magical power, but Renji stands undaunted. As the battle with the Lich King intensifies, Renji's leadership becomes ever more vital. His group, composed of formidable fighters such as Orion and Adachi, focuses on unleashing powerful attacks to counter the Lich King's spells. The powerful foes clash heavily. Renji reminds them all of their shared goal. The Lich King, shrouded in a mystic aura, stands formidable against them, wielding a blinding light magic. However, the determination that courses through Renji and his comrades is fierce. In a desperate moment, Renji urges, "Now! We'll attack together," spilling their energies into a concentrated effort to bring down their nemesis. Haruhiro and the others support by gathering magical energies and employing spells, their combined power and attempt to break through the Lich King's defenses. Rinji's strategy proves briefly effective, but the Lich King is resilient. Even as the anti-spell weakens him, the immortal being retaliates with an explosive spell, sending shockwaves. Sand erupts from the ground, enveloping him in a swirling storm, an elemental so intense that it becomes a field of battle in itself. Haruhiro, somehow clinging to the edge of awareness in the maelstrom, can't help but wonder at Rinji's strategic calm in the storm's heart. Rinji's focus becomes their guiding light. Haruhiro sees that more than brute force is needed, they need Rinji's indomitable spirit. Amidst the chaos, Mimirin and Haruhiro exchange a brief moment of understanding and trust. It's a rare instance amid the swirling chaos around them, but it grounds Haruhiro, reminding him of the allies and friends from whom he draws strength. The battle rages with intensity, each moment unpredictable yet brimming with known determination. Haruhiro's fear tries to claw its way up, but he steadies his resolve with the image of Mimirin's unwavering focus, Rinji's tireless push, and the echoing cries of his comrades. Eventually, even in the storm of magic and might, Haruhiro perceives Rinji's strategic brilliance unfolding. Rinji calls for an anti-spell barrier, a move that requires impeccable timing. Trusting in his friend's ability to counter the Lich King's tricks, he solidifies his intent to defeat the ancient king once and for all. But before their efforts can consolidate into a victory, a sudden shift, Haruhiro watches in horror as a golden sphere, the harbinger of instant death, appears before them. Panic rises, intuitively knowing it targets life itself with unerring accuracy. In the chaos, amidst sand and light, a tragedy unfolds. Haruhiro watches as the golden bullet's dreadful path aligns, and a life is claimed. Kimura, standing bravely, unjustly falls, a terrible cost paid in the fight against darkness. His sudden death is swift, shocking, and utterly irreversible. Endless might and magic surround Haruhiro, but this loss anchors him, a moment of devastation amid their struggle. Kimura. Matsuyaji, Haruhiro whispers, unable to process the collision of relief and sorrow. But time waits for none, and urgency bursts through grief, urging him to move, to honor fallen friends by ensuring survival. As Haruhiro processes the loss, action pushes him forward, his mind steeled by the sheer necessity of the moment. The battle is not over, and the Lich King still stands, relentless and powerful. Rinji and Haruhiro know that despite the loss, they must continue. Purpose drives them forward, even as the cost weighs heavily upon them. Together, they face the Lich King with renewed vigor and determination, each member of their disparate troop fighting with unwavering resolve. The battle is far from peaceful, the approach fraught with perils, yet beyond the horizon of fear and uncertainty, Haruhiro senses a glimmer of hope, a belief in the power of unity against seemingly insurmountable odds. With their resolve strengthened, they surge forward, carving a path through shadows with light. Thus, the saga of their fight continues. In the dim chamber, chaos spills forth as Ronta charges toward the Lich King, eager to protect his fallen leader, Rinji. Haruhiro spots Shinohara in motion, his eyes trained on the towering Lich King. The air crackles with tension as Haruhiro realizes they're not alone in their fight. Out of the way, he bellows at Ronta, heart pounding with urgency. Just then, the Lich King's magic flares, a devastating, deathly blast, unleashing in every direction. Shinohara, ever agile, maneuvers past Haruhiro just in time. Had Haruhiro been more observant, he might have noticed Shinohara's stealthy advance. But all he sees now is Shinohara's swift movement, driven by desperation and courage. Wah! Ronta shrieks, racing ahead of Orion, Tokimune, Toda, and Kikawa, who scramble to comprehend the scene unfolding before them. Haruhiro can't help but chastise himself amidst the chaos. What was that? The blast wreaks havoc, hurling them backward. Yet, in this storm of destruction, Shinohara charges forward. The Lich King's spell has not halted him. Rinji, broken and lying still, can only watch helplessly, as Shinohara strikes with all his might. UNGH! The blow resounds through the chamber. Shinohara's resolve is unfaltering. His sword delivers a crushing strike. Haruhiro observes in horror as the Lich King's head, now disconnected, flies skyward. The undead figure was known to be resilient, but Shinohara's determination surpasses expectations. With grit, Shinohara dismantles what remains of the Lich King, severing its left arm with swift precision. In moments, the Lich King is reduced to mere ruins, its severed head rolling at Shinohara's feet, a powerful testament to his triumph. As the dust settles, Haruhiro watches Shinohara's form in awe. Though the battle was hard-won, Shinohara stands weary but resolute, as the Lich King's form disintegrates to nothing more than bone and dust. Renji struggles to rise but finally succumbs to the floor, clinging to consciousness. As the king's armor and gauntlet dissipate, Haruhiro notes their hard-fought victory. They've won. The Lich King is defeated, its dark reign brought to an end. Shinohara's stamina wanes, he drops to his knees, breathing heavily. Ugh, who? Shinohara groans, finally feeling the weight of his fatigue. Haruhiro looks around, the remnants are silent, a testament to their battle's end. Once standing, Haruhiro locks eyes with Renji. Conversations pass, silent and poignant. Renji is shattered, his spirit battling with his physical state. Haruhiro, concerned but unable to express himself fully, understands Renji's turmoil. They move forward, discussing the relics left behind by the Lich King. Shinohara's glance falls onto the golden gauntlet. That's what kept it awake, he surmises. Knowing the significance harbored in the relics, they make careful considerations about handling such power. Renji agrees with Shinohara's observations. He acknowledges the challenge of managing such formidable relics. In a rare moment of vulnerability, Renji lowers his guard. It's harmful, Shinohara declares, his voice strengthening with clarity as he discards the relic pieces onto the ground. Wah! Ronta cries, startled by Shinohara's actions. Fury ignites within him, but as he moves to retaliate, the action is deluding by the relic crumbling into fragments. Shit! 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 Shit, he mutters, overwhelmed. With a weight on his shoulders, Haruhiro observes the volatile mixture of relief and mourning. Each of them processes the loss of Kimura, a clan leader and friend to many. Shinohara bears his grief with stoic silence, a quiet storm brewing within. As decisions are made to return to Alterna, the group plans their next course of action. Paths diverge, troops are to be divided between the Frontier Army and Volunteer Soldier Corps. Haruhiro, facing the unknown, contemplates further as memories of Kimura linger painfully. Quiet descends on the mountain as they prepare for their descent. Orion takes charge, leading with cautious precision, while Ronta argues passionately, his spirit undimmed despite the somber atmosphere. The setting shifts, Haruhiro moves through the corridors of the ancient castle, the echo of footsteps enhancing the silence. The interiors are covered with traps, an intricate, deadly maze, but Ronta's instincts keep their pace steady and assured. Together, with kinship deeper than words, they press onwards, keenly aware of the trials that await. Each echo of their past battles intermingles with their current resolve, painting a picture of bonds forged through fire. Glimpses of tenderness arise, as Mary grazes Haruhiro's cheek, a fleeting contact laden with meaning amidst their unstated camaraderie. This simple touch, in the wake of such destructive force, plants a seed of doubt in Haruhiro's heart, an unknown depth that Mary may hold, prompting whispered wonderings of unresolved pasts. Conversations continue, broken by stops and starts, laden with hints of grief and affection. Haruhiro clings to the ordinary in a backdrop of violence, but each interaction etches deeper meaning into their lives. You alive? He queries, the familiar banter a soothing balm amidst wounds still raw and healing. The journey seems long, paved with mystery and revelations that only time will unveil. As they rest and regain strength, each personality intersperses the silence, some through jest, others through silent reflection. The whispers of camaraderie echo, reverberating through their souls, as they discern the future's promise amidst the echoes of their struggles. In lulls punctuated by tension, Haruhiro gazes into the horizon. Awareness grows, of losses yet to be mourned, of friendships yet to solidify, of battles yet to come. And with these, Haruhiro and his friend stand united, their hearts echoing with lingering courage, for what lays beyond the horizon is unknown, but they will face it all, together. Haruhiro watches as Inui Adept navigates his way out of danger. Tokimune acknowledges the courage shown in the brief skirmish, and Haruhiro decides it's best to follow their lead, taking Tsuguta with him. The towering walls of the city loom ahead, and Haruhiro determines it's his next objective. The struggle is far from over. Navigating the chaos, Haruhiro skillfully climbs a wall between towers to gather intel. He discovers Inui incapacitating guards, creating a viable path. With Tsuguta cheering him on, Haruhiro finds himself motivated to give it his all, as there's simply no room for failure. As he begins his climb, arrows hail down from above, turning the ascent into a perilous endeavor. With timely maneuvers and instincts kicking in, Haruhiro miraculously evades serious harm. As he finally reaches the top, he feels exhausted but knows he must push onwards. In front of him lies Tower Number 4, where Shinonara and others seem prepared to engage the enemy below. Haruhiro aims to assist, determinedly steeling himself for the fray. Back on the ground, the situation is dire. Rinji, Tokimune, and their group face intense orc opposition. Despite being weary from previous encounters, the combined forces manage to gather enough spirit and momentum to press on. Haruhiro witnesses the ensuing battle from his vantage point, realizing that even though odds seem bleak, resolve and camaraderie offer hope. Haruhiro intercepts enemy plans, witnessing a distinct group, including orcs and kobolds, charge towards Rinji's party. He warns his companions, urging them towards a desperate surge to regroup. The sound of combat is raw and frenzied, echoing through the stone structures around them. As the battle intensifies, Haruhiro discerns a fearsome orc leader calling to its comrades. The shouts bolster the chaotic atmosphere, drawing more of the enemy into the fray. Rinji, ever the fierce warrior, engages the orc leader relentlessly, displaying remarkable prowess. Haruhiro notes how the leadership attempts to turn the tide with brute force and shouts, yet the human spirit remains unyielded. Setora joins the team's ranks, unleashing magic to create openings. Minoru and other casters follow suit, amplifying their collective strength. Amidst the fray, Setora's loyal pet engages enemies with startling vigor, boosting morale with every strike it lands. Haruhiro and the others push forward, aiming towards critical defenses. Suddenly Zondogran, a towering orc, emerges as a formidable nemesis. His presence dominates the battlefield, radiating power. Haruhiro is struck by the realization that this could well be an insurmountable challenge. Renewed clashes explode around them as Zondogran singles out Rinji, engaging him in an intense showdown. Resilient yet undeniably cornered, Rinji struggles to maintain the upper hand against Zondogran. His efforts, though valiant, cannot gain headway. Meanwhile, Haruhiro remains vigilant, aware of the threat posed by other enemies converging upon their position. The sounds of striking metal ring louder, punctuating moments of overwhelming pressure. In an intense moment, Rinji's resolute spirit compels Zondogran to reveal his name, signifying respect among warriors. Yet, the exchange also serves as a rallying cry, invigorating the orc forces and heightening the stakes. After a fierce exchange, Zondogran doubles down, leveraging brute strength to fight back against Rinji's already exhausted form. As the fight rages on, Haruhiro acknowledges his lack of power against the stronger foes but draws upon his innate ability to assess situations and plan strategically. He contemplates ways to dismantle enemy defenses, knowing the broad outcome hinges on individual contributions. Each decision made on the battlefield counts, and yet, every chance comes with its own peril. As tensions escalate, Haruhiro weighs another potential lineup, using Toda to dismantle the gates blocking their way. A daunting proposition, Haruhiro recognizes the reckless daring it entails yet grapples with the necessity of pushing past fear towards a shared goal. His conviction rallies his thoughts, driving him to pursue it against odds stacked perilously high. Continuing this pressing journey, Haruhiro and his companions navigate unending surges of enemy waves. As exhaustion threatens to unravel their resolve, the bonds forged between them in countless trials bolster each choice before them. Even amidst the turmoil, the spirit of camaraderie and mutual survival glows brightly. Haruhiro fights to suppress the palpable doubt gnawing at him. Despite being fraught with anxiety and fear, he knows that action, no matter how fraught, remains the only course. Gritting his teeth, he tosses away relentless demoralization and steps forward, heart brimming with a hope buoyed by everything his comrades represent. The battle continues, each passing moment sculpting a testament to their unwavering will. As Haruhiro stands before the formidable gate, desperation fuels his determination. Despite his injuries, he knows he must act quickly. The gate is open. My leg. My 10. Is new, he cries out, urging himself forward. Just then, an unexpected obstacle arises. A monstrous orc, wielding a long spear, appears from nowhere and grabs the gate, trying to close it. With a mix of bravery and panic, Inui strikes at the barricade, yelling madly, "Enwoho!" His wild attack momentarily distracts the orc, opening a window for Haruhiro. Haruhiro lunges forward, exploding into action despite his fatigue. Grabbing his dagger, he thrusts it into the orc's neck with all his might. The orc falls, giving Haruhiro a brief moment of respite. As Haruhiro collapses onto the ground, darkness briefly encapsulates his consciousness. But the pain of his injuries pulls him back to reality, each throb from his battered body aligning with the chaos surrounding him. Crawling with effort, he struggles to rise, his limbs feeling unsettlingly separate from his willpower. "Oh!" he mutters, stabilizing himself. Reassessing his situation, Haruhiro notes that someone had been helping him. It was indeed Shihoru. Or was it? The figure he saw bore a striking resemblance to her but seemed surrounded by an air of darkness. Hovering in the air, the woman seemed eerily familiar. Haruhiro's heart races as the mysterious figure whispers, "Dark," sending a chill down his spine. Suddenly, sinister black appendages extend from the woman, eliminating orcs with lethal precision. Yume and Meri also recognize what seems to be Shihoru's distinct magic. Haruhiro becomes entrapped in a web of uncertainty and recognition. Yet, his heart tells him it must be Shihoru. Memories flood back, her magic, the unique sound it makes. Amidst the vortex of chaos and battle, Haruhiro battles his own doubts. He questions his strained recollections. "Shihoru, is that really you?" he thinks. But the woman, devoid of familiar warmth, continues her deadly dance across the battlefield, leaving annihilation in her wake. Luxurious black magic swirls violently, marking the battlefield as its domain. "Dark," the woman chants again and again, her spell subsuming all who dare challenge its wrath. As the tide of battle turns under her control, Haruhiro's uncertainty grows. If this is Shihoru, why doesn't she recognize him? And what dark power now binds her? Faced with these troubling revelations, Haruhiro yearns to reach out, only to be intercepted by a flying object. Before he can react, he is compelled to rejoin the fray, his allies' perseverance calling him back to the reality of the battle. The creature continues her macabre waltz, tearing foes apart effortlessly. Gomi suddenly appears, taking Haruhiro's hand. "Come on," he says, urging him to climb aboard a flying object they're using for a quick escape. Though initially hesitant, Haruhiro grasps the urgency. Shihoru, or this being who bears her likeness, doesn't respond to his pleas. Instead, cold indifference radiates from her. Conflicted emotions churn within Haruhiro as he's forced to leave, needing to focus on the living who depend on him. "Wait, Shihoru, it's me," he silently begs from afar, hoping against hope that something remains of her former self. But there are no answers, just a void where recognition should be. Taking flight with his companions, Haruhiro is left holding onto threads of despair and confusion. Shihoru, if it indeed is her, seems locked in a terrifying new existence, one that doesn't acknowledge the bond they once shared. A haunting realization settles over him. She doesn't recall their adventures or friendships. Her memories have been wiped clean. As they soar away, Haruhiro clings to the dim hope that within the enigma of darkness lies the Shihoru he once knew. He vows silently to unearth the truth, to make sense of this nightmarish reality, and to reach her somehow. The uncertainty weighs heavily on him, yet steely resolve pulses through his battered being, propelling him onward through the vast expanse of the unknown.